So Ty, would you rather work from home or work in an office?
If you want to make a lot of money, you got to work collaborative. Virtual work is probably a scam. I saw Elon Musk a couple years ago said, I've determined that virtual work at Twitter is a scam. So everybody comes back to the office.
I kind of think that the whole notion of work from home is a bit like the fake Marie Antoinette quote, "Let them eat cake." People should get off the goddamn moral high horse with the work from home bullshit, because they're asking everyone else to not work from home while they do.
And yet,
it's wrong.
if you want to work at Tesla, you want to work at SpaceX, you want to work at Twitter, you got to come into the office every day.
Yes.
It depends on you're optimizing for lifestyle. If you're optimizing for lifestyle, then working at home is great. If you're trying to make maximum money, there's a great book on this, Steven Johnson. There's an actual mathematical formula. People together, and it's like a creativity exponential quotient. I mean, I forget the name right now, but this formula of increasing ideas and genius is what makes money. And so if you're isolated and don't think you can create collaboration on Zoom, ain't nobody collaborating on Zoom. They're talking to each other and you can get operations done, but you can't get innovation done. Humans are hardwired to need to see other humans.
What's the best investment in modern history?
The best investment in modern history? Well, I did a video I went crazy viral about Eduardo Saverin investing 30, 40,000. It turned into anywhere from 10 to 20 billion when he invested in a percentage of Facebook. Guy did no work and walked with 10 bill. That's a good investment. But I mean, one of the greatest investments in history was probably whoever educated Albert Einstein. And so like he came up with like equals MC squared, broke Newtonian physics, basically paved the way for quantum physics and a new understanding of life, also ushered in the nuclear age, which changed the world. Cold War, World War II, Vietnam, all this is like, so maybe that's not, probably we'll look at history, but whoever, in general, educating one key person in history is a multi-trillion-dollar return on investment. And it can also go the wrong way, too. It can be also the worst investment in history. Whoever invested in, Mao Zedong in China, responsible for 70 million people dying, that's a bad return on investment.
What's the main thing you would fix about the education system?
Main thing I'd fix about the education system, you have to inspire. Ain't nobody being commanded to get smart. I like the saying, you can learn to get rich, but you can't be taught. I'm on my phone right now, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I had the other day to transport some horses between my two farms. And my mom's like, make sure you have the horse get a drink before you drive him down there. I said, Mom, it's not a very long drive, number one. And number two, if I walk that horse over to the trough, it ain't drinking nothing because it's on my time frame. So the second you decide all kids age 6 to 18 have this narrow window to compact all this data into them, you just create zombies. That actually what you're doing. Modern education system is very good at making sure nobody ever reads a book again. The average person after age 25 reads like one nonfiction book per decade because they're traumatized. So the modern school system is a PTSD machine that makes sure people stop being learning machines, which is the diametrical opposite of what you'd want as a functioning society.
So I've heard you say women don't talk a lot on social media.
So I'm a mad scientist, so I'm always trying to observe, like, don't doom scroll on TikTok or Instagram, but look for trends. My current hypothesis I'm trying to understand, and maybe somebody watching will be able to explain. Women rarely talk on Instagram. So they lip sync, they dance, and some women do. Don't get me wrong. It's like 20% of as I scroll. So maybe it's the algorithm. That's one hypothesis I have. The algorithm is not selecting for women when they talk. Maybe it's programmed somehow. It's skewed. That's one theory. Second theory, there's a lot of science on women in general have lower risk-taking appetites. And you see that in multi-species. So whatever species, whatever sex in any species, like seahorses or humans or certain fish, has internal gestation, is more risk-averse because they have a complicated apparatus inside that gives birth. I see that, and you could see that on a farm. So one of the explanations, and this is just a hypothesis, I'm actually not sure. I need to talk to some of my top scientist friends, But it's a crazy observation that women, now there's a few podcasters that are women, but if you look, dudes are the ones who talk the most on Insta. Maybe they say that's mansplaining. Women definitely talk a lot in the real world, but somehow something's happening. It's either risk aversion or it's the algo. I'm not sure which.
Are we too dependent on technology?
Yes, I tell people, I believe in the 484 frameworks of life, the good life. I'm working on that. I built the 67 steps, which are like 67 frameworks, rules to living life. I released that 10 years ago. It's crazy. One of the frameworks for the good life is leave the phone in the bathroom. Never go to sleep with your phone in hand. I call it the double Bs. You know, they call it double Ds. Double Bs. There should be only two things in bed with you. A beautiful person, okay? Or a book. A real book. One of these. Not an ebook. I like ebooks. I like it. One of these bad boys. Why? Because we're overstimulated by the blue lights, by the flashing and dopamine sucking, algorithms. And so sometimes I'm like, people will say, well, I don't know, Ty, I like my phone in bed. I'm like, bro, why don't you just do this? Take the phone to your head. Just take 7 phones to your head. Because that's basically what you're doing to yourself. You're ridiculous. You need to be able to take 8 to 10 hours with no phone in the same room as you. Sure, even if you're sleeping, but that counts. You don't need music to fall asleep. You can make a little noise maker. Sometimes I'll do some rain. I keep a spare phone, and I give out that phone number. It has no apps on it. I got it, I got it right by my bed. And I tell people, you 7 people have this. If there's ever an emergency at night, call me. That allows me to leave my main phone in the bathroom. So take a break, man. Heck yeah, too much we're becoming cyborgs. We're already cyborgs. People actually experience the feeling of loss when they don't have their phone in their hand. Like, people don't lose their phone as much as you think anymore because it's become an appendage. Like, you would notice if you left your hand. I went to a party, I left my right hand. People will walk out of a party and be like, I left my phone. That premonition you have, that's like a foreboding of civilization turning into actual, cyborgs where they're half human, half machine. I saw Elon Musk. I saw a little video demonstration. It's like Elon Musk like, yo, I'm gonna drill a hole in your head and stick my Neuralink in there. I mean, I got mixed feelings about that.
Is modern art a good investment?
Mark, I bought some cool art by Casey Bow, that upcoming guy out of Brooklyn. Some modern art's good, some's garbage. It's like everything. It has some of it's a hardcore scam. When there's a Coca-Cola can with a piece of string through it, they just coming up with clever titles. That's all that is. They actually should be known as great copywriters. Great, they're great at coming up with words, but there ain't nothing there. I mean, I think there's a phrase I use in going viral on social media, which is VRIN score, value, rarity, inimitability, non-substitution. Well, the I in inimitability, I don't think we talk about great art is inimitable. So if you get on a piano, like I play piano for fun, I'm an amateur. I mean, I'm a little better than average, but not concert pianist at all. If I can play the piece you're playing, it's not good art. Great art is hard to replicate. And so to the extent that modern art is something I can't splatter paint on the wall, that's good art. But if I can do it, it ain't good. If you're playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I can do that on my piano. That's not art. I don't care what you call it. So I think we got to get back to art that was inimitable, that you looked at a piece, you looked at Leonardo da Vinci's, you looked at the Egyptian pyramids. My mom says they were built by aliens, but they're inimitable. We're still trying to figure out how to move those stones, So great things, quote unquote, great. It's obviously semantics, but great things are hard to reproduce.